Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Malana Muhammad wa ala ali. Dear brothers and sisters in Tiznit, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for the invitation to come there. And I'm very sorry I can't make it in person due to health issues and other issues at this time. But I did want to send you this short word of thanks to express my gratitude for this kind initiative and noble gesture, and extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Association of Former Students and staff of Muli Rashid High School in Tiznit, represented by its president, Professor Rashid Al-Alam, its board, its members, each by name and title. My wife and I taught at Tanawiya Muli Rashid in 1976-77, at a time when Morocco was in desperate need of qualified teachers. And so many of our colleagues at that time were from abroad and teaching in Morocco as coopérants. We had a Jordanian colleague who was teaching Arabic. We had Bulgarian colleagues teaching science and math, French people teaching, I believe, literature, and there were at least 2 other British people teaching English at the time. And because they had these special contracts of cooperation, they were earning probably twice as much or more than their Moroccan colleagues. But that was the reality of that moment, and alhamdulillah, now Morocco has so many wonderful qualified teachers. It's quite amazing. But as for my wife and me, because we came here just looking for a place where we could live with Muslim brothers and sisters, we didn't have any special kind of contract. We had contrat de droit commun, and at least that allowed me to look my Moroccan colleagues in the face without feeling ashamed. But it didn't pay much. I can't remember how much exactly, but I think it was around 2,100 dirhams a month. What we learned, however, from the people around us was much more valuable. This is because Tiznit and its people and its culture was pretty much intact. And so we could just look at how people lived around us and learn a lot. The students at the time were amazing. They were determined to learn despite many obstacles. Sometimes they had to teach their teachers how to teach, especially like in the case of the Bulgarians who didn't speak French. And so the Moroccan students had to teach them the French they needed to teach them, the students, mathematics and science. But they did what they needed to do. I'm talking about the students, and I'm sure that many of them are great successes in this country today. But it wasn't only the students who taught us, because I mean the culture of Tiznit was traditional. It was pretty much intact. And so we were able to learn from the people around us in general, not maybe so much from words, because we didn't speak much of the language at that moment, and especially Tashul Hayt, but just from who they were and how they lived and what their character, akhlaquhum, was. And I'd just like to close with one example which I'll never forget, and I've recounted to many people since that time. When we arrived in Tiznit, we had a little money in our pocket, not much. But we did have a job. We both had jobs, alhamdulillah, although it was going to be 3 or 4 months before we received any pay from those jobs. And that was the way the ministry worked at that time. So we were able to rent a house near Muli Rashid, very nice house, but we were not able to furnish it. We didn't have any money for furniture. So somebody, I think from the school, took us to a man who had a large shop that sold everything you needed to furnish a house, from teacups, tea glasses, to teaspoons and forks, knives, beds, stoves, refrigerators, everything. And the first thing I did was say to the man, Sidi, I'm sorry, we need some things, but we don't have the money at the moment to pay. And he said to me, look, Sidi, take what you want and pay me when you can. Keep in mind, I was a complete stranger to him. And he said, look, Sidi, take what you want and pay me when you can. So I think we took about 5,000 dirhams worth of furnishings, which today would probably have cost 15,000 dirhams or maybe more. We had them delivered to our house and we started our life there. Alhamdulillah. That was our introduction to Tiznit. It was our introduction to Morocco, and the fact that we have lived here since 1976 in this country is probably a testimony to the goodness we found among those people at that time. We thank Allah for His blessings, and we thank the people of Tiznit for their goodness. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.